What it is, my 10 piece and grease here, and a little bit of a PSA today, a public service announcement for y'all. While perusing DE's website, looking for various times during TennoCon, I did come across some information that really kind of surprised me because there's a lot of things ending about the same time that TennoCon is starting. Now, what am I referring to? Well, the first couple of items are right on the news bulletin at the front of your cockpit on your orbiter. And that is that the Equinox Prime access is ending. Now, this does not mean that Equinox Prime is going into the vault. I run into a lot of people that automatically think that when they see Prime access is ending, they automatically think vaulting. But these are two entirely separate actions. So Equinox Prime access is ending, which means all the accessories that you can get with Equinox Prime, with the Prime access, those accessories will no longer be available. All right, until a much, much, much later date. Equinox would have to vault, and then at a later date come back out, but that's way well and truly far down the road. So just the Prime access is ending. You'll still be able to farm Equinox Prime. You'll still be able to farm the Stradivar Prime and the Thibodeau Prime and all of her relics. Yep, no problem there. Okay, so that's the first thing I noticed that was ending. The second thing is that Volt and Loki Prime are going back into the Vault again. Now, honestly, I'm sorry for the pause. I thought about letting loose with a little bit of a rant. You know what? To hell with it. I am gonna. Okay. Apparently, DE wanted, Loki. Everybody and their brother and their sister and their mother and their father and their uncle and their aunt and their neighbors and their dogs and their cats, everybody to have Loki Prime sets, because Loki Prime has been re-unbolted back to back, like what, 3 times now since last year. And there are frames that have been in the vault for quite a while, but DE just seems to continually recycle the Loki is unbolted again and yet again and yet again. The problem I have with this is that when you continually unbolt a frame numerous times back to back, unfortunately their value just plummets and goes straight down the toilet. And now with Loki being unbolted so many times back to back, that means that everybody, as I just said, and their dog is going to have sets of Loki. So it's going to take a while for Loki's Prime's value to actually recover after all of this. But I'm sure at this point, and I would not be surprised if Loki Prime gets unbolted again in another 3 months. I would not be surprised by that. Moving on to Volt Prime, unfortunately, Volt Prime has never really recovered since Barrow was bringing his relics all the time. Now, if Barrow stops bringing Volt's relics and all of his equipment, I think Volt Prime's value can steadily climb out of the hole that it's in. Because Volt Prime is an excellent Warframe. Don't let anybody tell you different. Volt Prime is a fantastic Warframe. Needless to say, yeah, neither one of these frames are in a good spot right now as far as value is concerned, because you've got Loki that has been unbolted back to back, and then you've got Volt, who Barrow just kept bringing his relics over and over again. As a result, both of their values have taken a hit and suffered, but hopefully we will not see Loki Prime unbolt again for a very long time. DE, wink, wink, cough, cough. Can we make that a thing, or are we just going to re-unbolt Loki in another 3 months time? And if Barrow stops bringing Loki's relics, stops bringing Volt's relics, hopefully Volt can climb back out of that hole as well. But rant over, done. Moving on. The other thing that I did notice while perusing DE's website was the next vaulting. What is the next vaulting piece? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Hydroid Prime, the Water Boy. The Water Boy is vaulting, along with the Ballistica Prime and the Nami-Skyla Prime. All 3 of these primes are indeed going into the vault. So you will no longer be able to farm their relics. at that time, and you'll probably see their prices increase steadily over the next coming months. Hydroid Prime is a great Warframe, and just from a farming perspective here, if you have a full squad and you're going to go farm something, you got to have a Hydroid Prime in your squad, right? Because Necros Primes do not stack, so you got to have a Hydroid Prime in there, as well as with his augment, and then I wish we could her name, Cora and her augment. Maybe obviously got to have a Necros, maybe an Ivaro or an Atlas. But needless to say, yeah. But even aside, farming aside here, Hydroid Prime is a great frame. Even if you're just running defense or something else, Hydroid Prime just works. He's a great frame. The Ballistica Prime and the Naomi Skyla Prime are both perfectly serviceable weapons that I think just get overshadowed by other weapons in this case. The Ballistica Prime is a great secondary. I myself do not like the way that it shoots. I don't like the charge trigger along with the travel time on the bolts. It just bugs me. But with that said, I see people with the Ballistica Prime running high level missions and have no problem with the Ballistica Prime taking down the enemies. Naomi Skyla Prime, also excellent melee. Again, just something that just gets overshadowed by all the other melee weapons out there. Naomi Skyla Prime, excellent. So to sum up here, if you're needing Hydroid Prime, the Ballistica Prime, or the Naomi Skyla Prime, you damn well better start farming them and farming them hard, because they are vaulting. All right. So yeah, get them now, because once they're gone, they're vaulted, and you're just going to have to buy the relics or buy the sets. That's what it's going to come down to. So, but let me know what you all think down in the comment section below about all this information. And until next time, peace and grease.